show a presidential race that's tighter, but the electoral map is really all that matters, and Donald Trump continues to struggle there. He desperately needs to widen his base. In other words, he needs women. It's been an uphill climb. Even Republican women are split on Trump, in part because of a string of accusations made against Trump by women, a topic he again addressed this morning.
Saturday. These were false attacks. These things never happened. These people, I don't know these people. These things had never, ever happened. This was out of the blue. It was made up, probably by the Clinton campaign.
Do you have any evidence of that?
Well, many of the stories have already been debunked. Many of the stories have already been debunked. As you know.
The People magazine story, they brought forward 6 witnesses.
Why didn't she write the story 12 years ago?
She said she was afraid.
Oh, she was afraid. Give me a break. She was afraid to write it. She would have gotten the Pulitzer Prize. Give me a break.
With me now, Trump supporter and CNN commentator Kayleigh McEnany and CNN political analyst and Republican S.E. Cupp. Welcome to both of you. We're going to talk
Pulitzer Prize. Give me a break.
Talk about the split in the Republican Party among women, because SE, I've talked to so many Republican women who are just disenfranchised with their party now, and I wonder, what would mend things?
I'm sorry, what would what?
What would mend things? What would fix it? What would...
what would mend it?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, this is the existential crisis that's happening in the Republican Party right now. For people like me who don't defend Donald Trump and who aren't going to vote for Donald Trump, we worry deeply about his association with the Republican Party going forward, whether he wins or loses. We have been trying over the past decade to reach new kinds of voters, women in particular. And that was a project we embarked on very seriously after 2012. And I saw very good inroads being made with women voters over the past couple of years. And now Hillary Clinton in national polls leads Trump with white women by 20 points. That's a group that generally Republicans do pretty well with. So there is a deep concern, whether you support Donald Trump or not, that the Republican Party will not be competitive nationally again because of Trump's alienation of groups like women, minorities, and millennials.
So, Kayleigh, how do you see it?
Well, I see the numbers you just put up that have him trailing among women by 10 points. What that means is that he's outperforming Romney, he's outperforming John McCain, and he is tied with George W. Bush in 2004 among women. So this narrative that, Donald Trump is doing so poor...
Kayleigh, there is a split. There's most definitely a split.
I believe in facts and numbers, and the facts and numbers show he's tied with George W. Bush among women. I know the media and the Clinton campaign is trying desperately to mischaracterize Donald Trump, to paint him as a misogynist, but it's not working because viewers see through it. People can think for themselves. They see the numbers. He's tied with George W. Bush. Those are facts. Those are numbers. Those are statistics. And the caricature just isn't working.
But Kayleigh, what does that matter when he's losing to the person who's actually running against him with women by 20 points? What does it matter how he's doing compared to other years, right? You want him to win, don't you? You have to want him to do well with women now.
He's not losing by 20 points. He's not losing by 20 points. We just had a graphic on the screen that shows he's losing among women by 10 points. George W. Bush won the election losing women by 10 points.
Losing white women by 20 points. That's a crucial group that generally votes Republican. That should alarm you, Kayleigh, if you want him to win.
I'm not alarmed. I'm very encouraged. He's behind 3 points in the Fox poll. CNN just moved two states leaning blue into the battleground column. This is a tightening race.
Okay.
This is not, the media narrative isn't working. It just isn't.
Okay. I just interviewed Congressman Frank, and he said, S.E., that the reason that some Republican women are being driven by the party is because the Democrats have painted themselves as the party of children. Did you understand what he meant by that?
I think, and that was a difficult part to follow, one of many, but I think he was trying to say that Democrats have more effectively made emotional arguments, some might call it pandering, to sort of frame these issues as more emotionally compatible with liberal policies. And frankly, liberals do a much better job generally of painting themselves as the party of compassion than often conservatives do. And case in point, for sure, is this year's presidential election and the guy at the top of the ticket. But I think what is incumbent upon conservatives is to talk about how our policies are actually more empowering for women, more compassionate for people in need, and better equipped to deal with the difficulties facing us around the world.
Yeah, because here's the thing, Kaylee. Jason Chaffetz, he just came out, 19 days ago. He said, what Donald Trump said about women, I can't support him any longer because, I talked to my wife and I have daughters. I'm very concerned. But now he says he's going to vote for Donald Trump. And it seems to some Republican women that Jason Chaffetz is choosing this candidate over his concern for his wife. And
all voters should vote. I think, Jason Chaffetz looks at the Supreme Court, for instance, and there's a 5-4 decision upholding the partial birth abortion ban, meaning a full-term baby cannot be killed coming out of the womb. That was a 5-4 decision, and he's not going to sit back and allow a president to take over who believes in partial birth abortion,
well,
who will put 3 to 4 liberal
those women and children, like girls who are living, like out of the womb? I don't mean to be disrespectful, but that's what I'm talking about.
Well, all lives matter, and certainly a full-term baby coming out of the womb being murdered matters.
Come on, Kaylee, stop.
That matters.
I'm talking about Jason Chaffetz and his daughters and his wife. 19 days ago, he said, I cannot stomach Donald Trump because of what he said about women. Today he says, I'm going to vote for Donald Trump.
Because the Second Amendment rights are on the line, First Amendment rights are on the line, and anyone who cares about conservative values cares about the Supreme Court. Clinton picking 3 to 4 Supreme Court justices. Jason Chaffetz is doing the smart thing and not allowing Hillary Clinton to get in the White House.
Well, and let me just say, I'm also pro-life. I'm deeply concerned about the Supreme Court. The concern with Donald Trump at the top of the ticket is his effect on those down. If we don't preserve a Republican majority, he's not appointing the most conservative Supreme Court because he won't be allowed to. To another point, Jason Chaffetz is voting for, and voting is a very private, personal experience. Some people vote on one issue, some people vote on a panoply of issues. For how they're going to vote, on how they defend, and Jason Chaffetz, to his great credit, has not defended what he has done and said. That's I think what matters.
Okay, I have to leave it there. S.E. Cup, Kaylee McEnany, thanks so much. I'll be right back.